Hi everyone, it's Shar and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. I've been thinking about all of the ways that my game has changed, and I decided that I wanted to sit down with you and go through my favorite overrides for The Sims 4 that make my game more aesthetic. Now, first things first, I'm assuming you're relatively new to The Sims 4, or maybe you've been playing it for a long time and you've gotten bored, but I want to make sure that I tell you this is not a video about my reshade. If you're new to The Sims 4, this is the reshade menu. It is a mod that I have, and you can see that I used a dove reshade, but this is what The Sims 4 looks like without reshade. It's totally fine, but you can see that it's a lot darker and not as beautifully detailed as it is and as vibrant with reshade on. I decided that I'm going to split this video up into 3 categories for all the ways that my game is more aesthetic thanks to the overrides and mods that I have. So the first thing that I'm actually going to do is take you into cast so you can see the loading screen, and I can show you my favorite cast mod. So a loading screen can definitely make your game more aesthetic. I personally use the Shar'sSimsVida loading screens. I think they're very beautiful and very much suit like that cartoony, very vibrant aesthetic that I am going for. I use this one up here, but a loading screen, especially if you're on an older computer where you're sitting through loading screens for a long time, can really help to make your game feel more aesthetic, feel more customized to you. Starry has a few loading screens, so you can go more dark academia, you can go more realistic with real pictures and backgrounds. I just like the aesthetic of this more cartoony look, and here are variations of other things that you can get with Shar'sSimsVida. So loading screen is number 1. The Studio Ghibli ones are super cute as well if you're looking for a way to make your game feel like more of your game. Next is cast, and cast, normally I'll put a little clip here of what cast looks like without a background. It's just like a blue screen. It's very ugly. I haven't used it in years. If you spend a lot of time in Realism, then definitely have a cast background. I definitely prefer this one. I use the L crest backgrounds. You can just see it's super cute, and also super cute for thumbnails if you want to have this be the background. So this is the background that I used for cast. You can see L crest has a ton of other cast backgrounds. You can have a bookstore, a more simple one. You can have this one here. It just really changes the look and feel of your game. There's a cute playroom one. I'll have the links to the creators that I mentioned if you want to go and check it out. Anything that fits your aesthetic, you can customize your game entirely and make your game feel more aesthetic and more true to your aesthetic by changing the background in your Realism. And before I jump into the gameplay overrides to make your game more aesthetic, I want to show you the difference between the Sims 4 maps, which you can see kind of look like this. They're there, they're fine, but 20th Century Plump Bob has these amazing map overrides, which are truer to the actual layout of what the game looks like, and you can just see are a lot prettier to look at overall. I believe there are overrides for every single world. Like, look at Willow Creek and how freaking gorgeous it is in comparison to the original Willow Creek map. Because The Sims 4 is pretty much a closed world, you're going to spend a lot of time in this view looking at all of the world. You might as well look at something that is beautiful, like just look at Windenburg, look at how stunning it is. I get so excited to go into these worlds because they look so much better than they do on the map. I'm not going to show you every single world, but just so you can see like what a huge difference it makes to have a map override, and the 20th Century Plump Bob ones are my personal favorites. My next mod will demonstrate itself, because what do your Sims love to do then pull out their phone? They're always pulling out their phone. By default, their phone is super clunky. So my favorite aesthetic mod for The Sims, if my Sims are going to continuously pull out their phones, is this iPhone 11 override by Little Dika. All it does is it overrides the phone so it's slimmer and it looks more like the phone you would have in real life. You can see she's looking at her phone settings, checking her Wi-Fi signal and her Bluetooth. But I just really like this for the realism in the game, and I just think it looks a lot nicer than the super bulky phones that your Sims are always pulling out for no damn reason. Okay, this one just really works for me. These next two are for my very sweet romantic heart, and that is Cuddle in Bed. So these mods are actually twofold. So you see one, when Sims normally sleep, you'll see a clip here that they have these giant freaking Z's over their face. So I really like the No Z's mod here on Mod The Sims by Chris29, just because it makes your game a lot nicer. And if you are trying to get screenshots, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to do that without the giant Z's. And of course, there's already a cheat in game to remove the plump bob. So that's one. They are just sleeping peacefully with no giant Z's over their head. My second favorite is this one right here, which is Cuddle in Bed by the Pancake One. It's so stinking cute, and it overrides the way your Sims sleep. If they're sleeping in a bed with someone they have a romantic relationship with, they have the romance bar, they are just cuddling up, and it is the cutest damn thing. Like, look at him stroking her hair and kissing her forehead. I can't. It is so stinking cute, and they'll move away from each other and back towards each other throughout the night. My girl's like, no, I'm getting up. No, go back to sleep. It's just cute. So you see now she's cuddling him. This is such a cute override if you want to have that additional realism, but I just think it makes sleeping so much more aesthetic in The Sims 4. And if you're a family game player, it's just very, very, very sweet. Okay, this next one requires us to time jump into the future. Say hello to Jaylene. We are 15 years in the future. Our Sim has gotten married and has a teenage daughter now. And my favorite mod, my final mod for this video in terms of overrides for The Sims 4 is school uniforms. Yes, if you were forced to wear a school uniform, you're probably like, oh, hell no. But for me, I really enjoy having the school uniform, because otherwise what happens is this. A bunch of Sims wearing club outfits for clubs they're not even part of, and there are lots of variations for these school uniforms. You can see this guy has like the plaid jacket, Leah's wearing the skirt version of it, and they all have the same like argyle socks and same shoes. I just really like it because it adds more uniformity, no pun intended, for the high schools, and it just makes it seem a little bit more realistic in my mind than Sims spawning in with outfits for clubs they're not even part of. So I really love this school uniform. This is by this creator here on Patreon. There are a ton of variations for it. I personally just really like the light blue outfit, but you can go dark blue, you can do this cream color, you can do green, red, there's black, gray, whatever variation you want, you're able to get. And you can see it works really well because it makes it so that every single Sim who goes to high school and is a student is always going to be wearing their school uniform. And that's it. Those are all of the mods and overrides in my game that I personally love and I think make my game feel much more aesthetic. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you found new mods to play with, new overrides to play with, or just generally things to make your game feel more like your game and feel more aesthetic, however it is that you define that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate it, and I will see you in my next video, which should be another whimsy story. Bye, everyone.